All right, so I got a bunch of requests on my new oil catch can setup that I use to replace the crankcase breather mod that I did in a couple of videos a while back. Main reason I did this, which I didn't explain in that video and I guess I didn't really understand at the time, when you do a crankcase vent, obviously those vented fumes are going to go into the engine compartment. All those oil fumes that come out coat the whole engine compartment in an oily residue and it'll be all over everything. So the way to alleviate that is to get an oil catch can. So you could either use this and route it back into the stock intake, or you could do what I did and just put the little freaking vent that comes with it on here. So basically it's the stock crankcase breather, and instead of the vent that I used before, it goes into this oil catch can, and then this is where it vents to atmosphere. And then there's a little freaking dipstick in here that tells you when all the shit that it picked up is full. But as of right now, I've only put about 10 hours on this thing and it hasn't picked up anything yet. However, it has not left an oily residue in the engine compartment since I last cleaned it. Really all I did was I got this on Amazon. I'll put the link for it in the description. I got it with the bracket that it came with, and I cut it and drilled a new hole in it and basically bolted it to the valve cover bracket. Just make sure, I had to drill a new hole in the middle of the valve cover bracket because I wanted the center. Make sure that when you put this valve cover bracket in, you put some Loctite on this bolt here, because this little bit of wiggling can knock that loose. So just make sure that it's tight. This will not spin because this bracket is indexed in here. As long as this is snug, this will stay in its place. And that's really it for the oil catch can. Now I wanted to talk about a couple other things in this video that I got just to shed some light on some parts that people don't talk about a lot on these things. First thing I want to talk about is these freaking Yamaha brand fenders. These are fucking nice as hell if you're at a wavy dock or something, because these bitches just clip right on here. You got these fenders and they can take a good beating and stay on there versus the little universal ones that hang down and slide out of the way and scratch your panel up. Second thing I want to talk about is this custom made gauge pod, 3D printed, that I got off of eBay. I'll put the link in the description. I can't tell you what company it is because I think it's just an individual person that makes these, but really cool, really neat, really secure, great if you want to put a boost gauge or an O2 sensor or an external tack or something like that. Pretty good price. I think I paid about 35 bucks for it and does exactly what it's intended to do. In no way am I affiliated with the person selling this. I just think it's cool and some more people should know about it. The next thing I did that a lot of people don't talk about is I got an ECU reflash from Racetech on eBay. Again, I'll put a link into the description, but basically instead of paying $1,000 for a map tuner, I paid $220 to get the ECU reflashed to exactly what I wanted. So they put an 8600 RPM tune on here and it runs absolutely amazing. I love it. And then additionally, last thing I put on here that you should know enough about, I put a Worx Thru Hull in it in top of my TDR Waterbox. So it sounds good, it runs good. One last thing, I know a lot of people like these, like to put blow-us and vacate valves on them. There's another company called JLP that makes vacate valves that are a lot cheaper than the Blowson and are the exact same thing. And I kind of like the blue machine look of them, so check out the JLP Vacate Valves too. Again, none of this stuff am I sponsored or anything to talk about. I'm just saying what I put on here that I seem to like.